welcome to our lesson for today. So in this lesson, we're continuing to talk about Elijah. So remember last time we said that Elijah went to Zarephath because God told him to go. And when he got there, he met this widow and she was collecting firewood. And when he asked for water, she went and she found it for him. Even though they were in a drought, she went and found water for him. And when he asked for food, she told him, I'm sorry, I can't help you because I'm about to go and make the last loaf of bread for my son and then for me, and then my bowl of flour will run out and my jar of oil will run out and then we will die of hunger. But Elijah said, God promises that if you go and you make a loaf for me, a loaf for yourself and a loaf for your son, then he promises that throughout the drought you are going to go and you are going to find enough flour in your bowl and you're going to find enough oil in your jar for you, your son and me. So Elijah stayed with the widow, and every day when they woke up there was enough flour and enough oil, and this happened for the whole time there was a drought, and this was 3 years.
Yes, so for more than 3 years there was no rain and there was not even dew. There was no drop of water
anywhere.
Yes, and soon King Ahab began to become desperate and he was worried and he thought, he was furious,
he was angry, he was desperate, he was everything.
Because remember they were praying to their gods of Baal to bring rain, but it was not happening. So he became desperate. And so one day he called his chief manager, and then his name was Obadiah. And then he told him, we have to go all over. We have to cover the whole country. Go everywhere.
The whole country.
Look for rivers. Look for streams.
Everywhere. We have to go everywhere because remember he was desperate.
Yes.
So he told Obadiah this. Now Obadiah was a really good man, and he still loved and served God, and he was still a good friend to all of God's prophets. Yes.
So he had not worshipped the
He had not turned away from God.
Yes. So this is what happened. So the king said, we are going to cover the whole country everywhere. We're going to go to all the streams, all the rivers, just find water for the horses and the mules. And if we don't get any water, we are going to kill all of
the horses and kill all of the mules, because now we can't find water for them, so we're going to kill all of them, but we have to go and search.
Yes, and then Ahab said, you go one side, then I'll go the other side. And so Obadiah went a different direction from where King Ahab went.
And then while Obadiah was traveling, he went into such a long journey, and he had to walk for miles and miles and miles, and he was so tired. But when he looked up, he was so shocked and surprised, because
he got the surprise of his life.
Because before him,
down and then he looked up, and before him,
Elijah was standing right before him.
That they had been looking for all that
this time. They were looking for Elijah, and yet he appeared like right in front of him. And he was so shocked.
Yes, Obadiah told Elijah, King Ahab has been looking everywhere for you.
He's been looking everywhere for you. And then Elijah said, go and bring King Ahab here. So then Obadiah looked at him and said, if I go and then I come back and I find you have disappeared, the king will be so furious and will be so angry. But Elijah assured him, he said, I'm not going anywhere.
You're going to find me here. So you go and bring King Ahab here.
So when King Ahab came and he saw Elijah, he looked up and he was angry and he spoke so rudely. He was like, it's you. You're the one who has caused us all of these troubles.
Yes.
But Elijah just looked at him sadly and said,
I'm not the one to blame.
I'm not the one to blame for all of this.
Yes, it's you who turned
away from God and worshipped Baal. And then Elijah said, now go, call all of the people of Israel, and gather them at Mount Carmel and bring all of them there. Also bring all of the prophets of Baal. I am the only prophet of God that Jezebel has left alive. So bring all of us together to Mount Carmel. And this was a challenge for the prophet of God against all of the prophets of Baal. And
so
he
remember,
said, I am the only one.
Jezebel was killing
all the prophets of God.
So Elijah was the only true prophet of God that was left alive.
So he said, I am the only one who is still alive, and I am going to stand for God.
Yes.
He was alone, and he was going to be the only one against hundreds of prophets of Baal, against the king and the queen, even against the people of Israel, because remember they had turned away from God, and he said he is going to stay and he is going to stand against them, and he's going to stand strong for
the
God.
true God. Yes. So despite all these other factors, Elijah was determined to stand and to prove God to be the one true God.
Yes.
So he decided, I'm not going to fear whatever is going to happen.
Or
just
follow
gather
anyone else.
Just gather them at Mount Carmel, and then we are going to see who the one true God really is.
Yes. So children, what we learn is no matter what is happening around us, it doesn't matter if our friends are on a different side than us, or whatever is happening around us, we need to stand strong for God.
Yes.
That is all we need to do. We need to be like Elijah, and we need to decide we're going to stand strong for God.
Yes.
So now it's time for us to sing our song. So everyone stand up and help us sing our song.
Yeah.
It's time for us to sing our song. Now we've just talked about how Elijah said he will stand strong for God on Mount Carmel. So now we're gonna sing a song about how we are going to stand strong for God no matter what. Everybody stand up and help us sing this song. Stand strong when life changes. Stand strong through the ups and downs. Stand strong, for you know that God is in control. Stand strong when life changes. Stand strong through the ups and downs. Stand strong, for you know that God is in control. The storms of life will push and pull, but we are standing on the rock that never rolls. The storms of life will push and pull. We will keep standing. God is in control. Stand strong when life changes. Stand strong through the ups and downs. Stand strong, for you know that God is in control. Stand strong when life changes. Stand strong through the ups and downs. Stand strong, for you know that God is in control. Yay! Okay, it's time for us to do our craft. Now, we've just talked about how Elijah told King Ahab to gather everyone on Mount Carmel, and how he said that there are so many prophets of Baal, but I am the only prophet of God that is left alive, and I am going to stand for God. So now to remember this, we're going to create Mount Carmel, and we're going to write Elijah stood for God at Mount Carmel, so that we remember this always.
So it's very simple. What you're going to do, you're just going to draw an outline of a mountain, then cut it out and then stick it, and then write our lesson and our memory scripture for today. So I've already drawn my mountain, but I'm going to do an outline so that you can see what I did. So this is what you do. You just take your dark pen, a color or a darker pen,
Or a pencil.
or just your pencil, and then you just do this. So you draw your mountain.
Which is a bunch of half triangles.
Yeah, it's just half triangle. So a big one, then a small one right there, and then another big triangle. Just make sure you have a mountain. There you go. So that's just an outline of the mountain. But now we have to color it so that we can have an actual mountain, or something that looks like a mountain. So I'll just use my brown color, and I'll color in
Brown mountains.
So I'll also use a green color just to bring out the vegetation aspect of
The plants on the
on the
mountain.
mountain. Yeah. I think we're done coloring
our mountains.
So now I'm going to take my scissors and I'll just cut out the outline of the mountain so that we can have a nice picture. So you start from what you drew, the outline of that. If you need help, please don't hesitate to ask for help, because we don't want you to cut out your mountain the wrong way. So I'm done cutting out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use my other piece of manila paper, preferably a different color. Then I'm going to just staple in my mountain that I just cut out. So make sure it's in the right position, and then just staple in. Make it firm as possible. I think that's enough. Yeah.
And then
there we go.
And then now we're gonna write where our story is from today. So the story is from 1 Kings chapter 18.
1 Kings
chapter 18. And that is where we find the story. And what happened is that Elijah said that he would stand for God at Mount Carmel. So we're going to write Elijah stands for God at Mount Carmel.
Okay, so that is what you're going to write. Elijah stands for God
at Mount Carmel.
So this already tells us which this mountain that we've just drawn and colored and cut out is. So this is the Mount Carmel, and that is where Elijah challenged the prophets of Baal.
He said, gather everyone and bring them to Mount Carmel.
Gather everyone of Israel from Israel, and even bring the prophets and gather them, and we're going to see who the one true God is. So it was right at Mount Carmel that he was able to do that.
Yes.
Okay. So I hope you're able to write that, get everything correct, draw your mountain, cut it out, and then have your memory scripture and our lesson for today.
Okay, so that is our lesson for today, and this is our craft for today. So we'll see you next time to find out what happens at Mount Carmel. So until then, bye.